Hey guys, so here I am with video 2 of our why lectures. And remember I mentioned in the first one how important these videos are for your long-term education and so you can take this fat loss journey beyond the 19 days. Yeah? So this is the fitnesscampacademy.com hierarchy of fat loss, and Fitness Camp Academy was a business that I basically built and have just sold. And I came up with this. This is called the Unstoppable Fat Loss Formula, and this is basically the order or the hierarchy of things that are important when it comes to dropping body fat. So the first thing and the second thing you've got to get right is mindset. Okay, so if your head's not in the right place, it's pointless even starting a fat loss program. Okay, because you'll just fuck up and you'll beat yourself up about it and you'll not be able to get up this vicious circle. Okay, and we've covered that right at the start of this. We did this with all the warrior stuff. We did this with posting your goals, taking your photos, using a photo of somebody who you aspire to be, etc., etc. And I'm hoping to go deeper into that as we go through this. But what I wanted to talk to you about today was hormonal balance, okay? And we're looking really at remember, health was the principle that we looked at when we do the 19-day JRP, and anything that I do, the principle is always health. So health will be right up here. So mindset, etc. It's got to be perfect. Well, it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be there. Your head has to be in the right place to undertake anything as tough as this. Because this is hard, but the results are well worth it. So hormonal balance is what I wanted to look at today, because if these are out of sync, then the training and the nutrition doesn't matter. Have you ever noticed how some people can have success on a diet and doing exactly the same diet and training plan as each other, and one person has great success and the other one doesn't? It's because the hormones are all over the place. So after mindset comes hormonal balance. So here's what we want to look at today. Let's get up the presentation. So, again, neither diet or nutrition matter if your hormones are out of sync. Okay, the three main ones are cortisol, which is a stress hormone, estrogen, which is a female hormone that men also have problems with, and insulin, which is actually an anabolic hormone, but it's also a fat storage hormone. And all of these ones cause problems in various areas of the body. So the first one, strategies we're using to deal with cortisol. Now, cortisol is a hormone produced by the adrenal glands, and it can actually be effective because it gives you energy. Cortisol gets a bit of a raw deal. But if your energy is at the wrong time, or if it's for too long, or if it's all over the place, then you're going to store body fat, and it's usually actually around the stomach area. There's a tissue, or it's sort of a muscle / tissue called the greater omentum, and that's sort of around your abdominal area. Now, the fat cells around that area are very receptive to storing cortisol or excess cortisol, because remember, when I talk about excess toxins, your body will also produce excess hormones, which again, it doesn't want floating around the bloodstream, so it'll send it somewhere to be stored. Best place for storage is in the fat cells. Okay, so to deal with cortisol, we're going to take away the basic removal of toxic food, not good, and allergens. Okay, because if your body's stressed out, it's going to release extra cortisol, and what you put in your body either stresses it out or doesn't stress it out. Okay, we're looking at improving sleep. We're doing that with cold baths and the types of food that we're eating and when we're eating it. We're carb cycling. I don't know if you noticed, we had some high carb days and some low carb days. That actually helps deal with cortisol, because spiking insulin post-workout, when I say, okay, post-workout, you've got to get these carbs in, it's because cortisol is high post-workout because training is a stress. We've taken out jogging, and we take out Zumba, etc., because those make your body produce excess cortisol. Hence, that most joggers are actually fat. Okay? You very rarely, everyone says you don't see a fat runner. I'm like, well, you do. You don't see a fat sprinter. Sprinters run for 10 seconds. The workouts are shorter, because after 45 minutes, your body will start really starting to eat into your muscle tissue. That's the other thing with cortisol. It actually eats into muscle tissue. And muscle tissue, as you may or may not know, is the only tissue in the body that can burn fat. Okay, so this is the way fat loss works. Your body stimulates the fat or metabolizes the fat out of the fat cell, known as a triglyceride. Your body then transports the fat or the triglyceride through the bloodstream to the muscles to be used as energy. It's as simple as that. The herbal teas, the Tulsi tea, is something that reduces cortisol. One of the things that I'm big on is actually drip feeding information and support. So I don't give you everything at once because it can be overwhelming. You get caught in paralysis by analysis. You end up going, fuck it, I can't do this. It's too stressful. Which is why I love to send the instructions every day. And is one of the success stories from the JLP. And fasting. Fasting is great because I don't know if you noticed, you don't have to worry about eating. Yeah, simple as that. Great. Okay, so strategies we're using to deal with estrogen. We're cleansing, okay? And we're cleansing the liver, basically, okay? So estrogen excess estrogen leads to fat storage around the legs and ass in women and on the man boobs in men. Okay, so here's what happens. We ingest loads of things that are toxic in nature. And again, the liver has to work hard to break them down. Your body, your liver also produces something called sex hormone binding globulins. These sex hormone binding globulins are actually meant to deal with excess estrogen. And this could be naturally produced estrogen from your ovaries, or in a man's case, taking an estrogen, and actually the women's case, taking in what's called man-made estrogen, such as soy, such as your body ingesting plastics without even realizing it, which is why a microwave's terrible, etc., etc. Booze is awful as well. So, if you're ever stressed out, it can't produce enough of these sex hormone binding globulins. So again, like I've always said, the body doesn't want these excess things in the bloodstream, so it sends it to the fat stores. In women, the legs tend to be very receptive, and the ass and the hips tend to be very receptive to estrogen. So we cleanse the liver. Green veg, very much watercress, spinach, and broccoli. The three main vegetables we're eating on this plan these contain something called indole-3-carbinol. Indole-3-carbinol basically binds to estrogen and you shit it out. Okay, it also helps protect the liver from pesticides and herbicides. Okay, hydration is key. If you're dehydrated, your body will not give up fat. Glutamine and a probiotic. These are both actually in there to improve digestion. Okay, if you can't digest food properly, your body will not be able to deal with it, and both of them also support the liver. And again, fasting, great for detoxifying estrogen, because if you're not eating, then your liver's not working on breaking down what you're eating. Yeah, so if you have a little break from it, works a treat. And the greens drink is amazing for cleansing estrogen. Okay, so insulin. Insulin is actually great for building muscle. Okay, so we're actually on low carb days quite a lot. It's quite a low carb diet, or pretty much a very low refined carbohydrate diet. So there's no bread, no pasta, no potatoes really, because those things make your body or your pancreas produce excess insulin, and the fat cells around the love handles. Okay, so that fat that's hanging over your jeans and your lower back is caused by excess insulin or excess carbohydrates, directly correlated to your carb intake. Fish oil. Amazing supplement for helping improve insulin resistance, or actually insulin sensitivity. So it helps out the pancreas, but it also turns on fat burning enzymes and turns off fat storage enzymes. So that's the fish oil. Resistance training helps improve insulin sensitivity. Carb cycling, amazing for helping improve insulin sensitivity. And I'm going to cover that in depth in another video, carb cycling. Fasting. Again, because we're not on an insulin roller coaster, you'll notice that when you're fasting, your energy's through the roof. It's because you're not ingesting food, okay? A lot of fat in the diet, yeah? So you'll notice I always recommend avocados. I always recommend nut butters and olive oil and coconut oil, because these things don't have an impact on insulin at all, yeah? Carbs have a big impact on insulin. Protein has a little impact on insulin. Fat has no impact on insulin, okay? Glutamine, superb for improving carbohydrate cravings, okay? Alcoholics use it to help them. So that's pretty much the old why and how of hormonal manipulation summed up in 5 minutes. And remember, nutrition and lifestyle trump any exercise. However, next up, we're going to be covering training for fat loss and why we've been doing what we're doing, okay? Peace!